I think we're going to make progress, but I want us to talk about. I didn't want to do this last week because I saw it. Someone brought it to my attention. I saw it and I ignored it. I'm talking about Chief Coup plotter Chris Anu. He made an article where he published it, Barrister Mbeseha, and he said something. We need to really talk about it because this has to do with the distortion, misinformation. As the squabbles are going on within the fora, there is filtering out. You have those who crosses the line by even taking some of these issues. Like when we're growing up, they say only a bad child goes to the neighbor's house to talk about what is happening in the house. Only a bad woman goes to a friend's house to tell the world what is happening between her and the husband in the bedroom. That kind of woman is not a good. So information has been filtering out from our fora, and apparently Chris Hanu is having some idea of what is happening. I saw an article that Ngwambe is talking about me. That's a primitive guy who I thought had some sense. And it's unfortunate. I'm sorry using the word primitive, but I'm just describing the reality of who he is. So I'm coming to you now, Barrister Mbeseha. Chris Arnold captioned his article, "Who cursed Ambazonia with Dr. Sacco?" When I read that article,
What?
I laughed because, yeah, that is the caption. And I'm like, this is a man who is unable to raise 5,000. And President Sacco 2 weeks ago has raised 70,000 US dollars. Ambazonians don't trust you. So who is now a curse and who is a blessing? By Stambesa, maybe that's where you should talk and maybe crown and conclude this segment of our
Uh,
conversation.
yeah, thank you for having me. And I wish all Ambazonians worldwide can listen to me in this my own
Please.
segment. See, this Truth and Reconciliation Committee that I hate has nothing to do with the whole Ambazonian struggle. We're
Okay.
dealing with the government, those still in the government
Correct.
of President Ako.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with the disagreements or agreements in the Ambazonian struggle. But I would like to address that because that's where Chris Anu and many others are looking at. Chris Anu and many other people are saying, all of you come together and prosecute the war one front and go defeat and go to the Cameroon. That's a very, very good call. But let me make this remark, and I wish people listen to me. This will go to answer what Chris Anu wrote. Now, from 2018, we have these groups that have been formed, call them groups. But all the groups are intended to fight against President Sako, not to reach Yaoundé. The groups were intended and are still intended to fight President Sako. That's why Chris Anu will say, God curse Ambazonia with Sako. But this is my take about it, and I wish them to hear. I tried to reach out to some of them. They didn't respond to me. And this is my only contribution, but it's a little bit long, but I will explain why. Now, in 2018, when Sisiku suddenly disappeared from the scene, we tried to put A together, put B together, and form something. Finally, we got President Sako to sit in as a president. Who tried to break down President Sako was Sisiku by appointing a certain Yerema. He created his own faction of his so-called IG and put a Yerema there. Today, Sisiku from his prison cells and tweets and messages. Let everybody come together without first of all addressing the fact that he created an illegitimate vice president. The best thing for him to have done was to have simply called back his man, say, go back to the fore. He did not expect the certain President Sako, whom he was trying to undermine, to come to Yerema and say, okay, let us come together. It doesn't work like that. Moving forward, and again for purpose of explanation, Sisiku became president in Nigeria after the consortium left Cameroon, got to Nigeria, got other groups, They became SCACOF. They became finally the governing council, and they matured into the IG. Who are those who left Cameroon? The consortium were banned. It was banned. Who are those who left Cameroon? The SCNC. It was also banned. And when they created this so-called IG in the fourth conclave, the structures included the consortium. And those structures included the IG, the most powerful organization in it was the IG, which was the consortium, and the Restoration Council, which was headed by the SCNC. This is important because what they called the IG in 2018, that's today become the government, was a combination of all these forces that came from the home front. But what have they done to undermine the same thing that they put together? When things were not moving well, Mba Akoro purported to pull away the consortium from the government, from the so-called IG. He revived what he called the consortium. And then they're running around, let us come together. Without knowing that the dissolution of the consortium, the establishment of the so-called consortium was an act of illegality committed against the very unity government that they had created in Nigeria to fight the war. Today, you hear something consortium, they go somewhere else, he's sitting there and say, I'm consortium. What consortium? We don't understand. Fast forward, the, the Restoration Council was headed by the SCNC in the person of Komita, was the chair. And if anybody has played the major role to the factions, we call them, to the different governments we have, it is no one else but Komita. Komita, as the chair of the Restoration Council, created a certain Marianta. This Komita who created Marianta by giving her a government for 6 months. On what basis, no one knows. Today, we'll hear the appeal to come together. You hear people calling Marianta is one of the governments to come together. If Marianta did not succeed, what was the idea? The idea of Marianta was to defeat President Sako. Marianta was created, just like Yerema, to fight Sako. Because in order to put Marianta there, they purportedly impeached President Sako. And today, you hear them calling on the impeached president that, oh, he's the curse on us because he's not going away. Again, 6 months after, the very Komita who represented the SCNC created a certain Anu. For what? To fight the so-called Sako, because even after Marianta got there, Sako did not go away. Now you have three factions, the Rema faction, the Marianta faction, the Anu faction, all of them crying for unity. And of course, you have the consortium there. And to conclude it, at the end of all this creation by a certain Mr. Komita, he proposed now to pull out something called SCNC, which is part of the government. There's an independent SCNC. That when they go to Canada, you see somebody sitting on the table and say, I'm SCNC. When they say, let us come together, people are saying, oh, SCNC is a faction. Whether they are supposed to be part of the government. When they went out, no one knows. And what is Komita doing? The only role Mr. Komita plays in the struggle, up to this point, after, in his mind, removing Sako, he is an SCNC whose sole role in the struggle is to sign asylum papers. And yet, you hear the honorary ambassador on the ground. All of us come together. Who are these people they call all of us? The all of us they are
Yeah.
referring to are Chris Anu, are Marienta, are Yerema, are Kometa. So, what makes, if Yerema did not succeed, why don't you just go back to the fold? If Marienta did not succeed, why does she not just go back to the fold? If Anu has not succeeded, because in his own words,
Yes.
quoting him, who dismiss Sakoba is going nowhere. As you speak today, still saying that he's sitting there. So why, if you have failed, why not just come back to the fold? So what is this call for unity, unity, unity? It is all financial. poor people wanting money because they see money coming in terms of negotiations, whatever it is. And this is clear evidence of it. Mr. Uh, this guy, the man of SY, what do you call that thing, did not join the government, but he purported to be part of it. President Sako, under his auspices, created the act. We were simply to prepare for negotiations. Today, when you go to stay in Canada, you find a certain tailor who is sitting there
Talking
as
about
act. The act of Mr. Akwanga.
Boy, but
Akwanga himself sits there as his sweet do. There's a certain tailor from France, or from China, sits there as
ridiculous.
act. And these are the very groups that the ordinary man, the ordinary citizen in Amazonia and around the world is calling on them to come together to go fight Yaoundé. And that's why I chose to address this message onto that. So again, for Ambazonians who want this, who preach the doctrine of come together, why has prevented Yerema that since his creation in 2018, we have not heard him throw a rubber gun anywhere to fight the war? Why does Sisiku not just say, my brother, I appointed you in error? And among the people Sisiku appointed is Kapo Daniel as his ambassador to China. So what is wrong with Sisiku not just saying these things I created were a mistake?
Let's
Irma,
correct.
go back to the government. Mr.
Yeah.
Capo Daniel, go back to the government because Capo Daniel is now championing a different thing. But he has not really resigned from Mr. Yerema's government. The president of the Yerema's government, because he's vice president, has not dismissed Capo Daniel. He's still there. And
Yeah. So
so
there's no
this
official
is
dismissal. Yeah.
yes, this is where the problem is. And my message, therefore, as I've said, is addressed to people around the world, Ambazonians, calling for a come together. All of you unite. All of you unite. Well, this all of you, the all of you include Yerema, whom have analyzed his position from Sisiku. They include Marianta, whose position I've just analyzed. They include Mr. Kumeta, whom I've just analyzed. They include a certain consortium that was banned, which has merged up to form
and,
the government in Nigeria. Today being led
and
by
Anu,
a certain, a
And
certain
Anu.
Mba, making so much noise on social media. Oh, let's come together. That's their own context of come together.
And the
And
truth
again,
is that Barrister Mbeseha,
and let
just
me
to
learn.
add up.
Let me
Yeah.
learn. For instance, let me
Okay,
just
please.
learn. The
Yeah.
truth is, I, as the chair of this Truth and Reconciliation, that has nothing to do with what caused Marianta to form a government or to fail.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what caused uh, Anu to be where he is, succeeding or failing. Neither have we anything to do with Yerema, neither have we anything to do with Sisiku. Either way, Truth and
O-
Reconciliation to reconcile our Ambazonians at the end of the day. It is not that which you are doing now. What this
Okay.
Truth and Reconciliation Committee is concerned is with the people in the fold of President Sarkozy's government. Whether you call them coup plotters or not, today they are still members of that house. We are trying to
Yeah.
reconcile members of that house, point out their errors. Within that, we're not going to mention Sako, we're not going to mention Akuru, Anu, all these people in this
And
report.
all of
Never, never.
and all
That
the
is not
likes.
within, yeah, that is not within
That's not
our
that's not within the
job.
jurisdiction of that commission.
Yeah.
Thank you
So over to
for
you. Let people
thank you for making
understand
that
this.
clarification.
All right, thank
Thank you.
you. And over to you.
I'm very happy that you make that clarification. I even didn't think that you were going to do that, and I'm happy that you proactively did it.